So, welcome to NBL Live week number 2 as we have the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Detroit Lions in Detroit. Alongside me, Sonny Weaver, is my partner for the broadcast today, Lip Ripper. How are you doing today, Lip?
I'm great. How you doing, Sonny?
Good. We're excited to get this game started. Looking at kind of the ramifications that this game has, this game was a game that we thought we were going to see last year in the NFC Championship game. 16-0 Lions, the number 2 seed Atlanta Falcons. Lions gets upset in their first game of the playoffs to the Dallas Cowboys. The Falcons go on to beat the Dallas Cowboys and then take that all the way to a championship run. Looking at this game today, it's early in the season, but it looks like both teams want to stake their claim to the NFC supremacy. What are your keys to victory for both teams today?
Well, I think for the Falcons, they're going to have to stick to the run game, not give up on that, because this Lions defense is going to be very tough. Not everything's going to go the Falcons' way, and they can't give up on it. They have to stick to the run game and make sure that they don't turn the ball over, because against this good defense, it's going to be tough. But if they can keep the ball and not turn it over, they can have a real good shot. As for the Lions, I think that they're going to have to play the defense that they're used to, and if they can play the good defense, I think that they'll have a good shot, because they have some stars on offense that can get them some points. So as long as the defense is tough, I think that the Lions have a good shot.
Yeah, I agree with you on both parts here. You've got a Lions team that's going to have to get the run game going early. The Atlanta Falcons defense was very good against the run last year, but if the Lions become too one-dimensional, it's going to allow that Atlanta defense to tee off, get the pass rush going. On the other side of the ball, Detroit Lions need to look out for that running game. Tevin Coleman had a great rookie year last year. You've always got the deep threat of Julio Jones. Lions are going to have to get to Matt Ryan early in this game, get to him often, and shut down that running game for them to have any shot of winning this game. As we kind of take a look at the landscape that is the NFC, you know, it's still early in the season. We're only in week 2, but Detroit's going to have to win this game. They got the Minnesota Vikings already at 2-0, and they'll see them a little bit later in the season. The Atlanta Falcons, they battled with the Carolina Panthers throughout the season last year, so big game, NFC right here this week on NBL Live. Lions, Falcons. Lip, Matthew Stafford, MVP last year. What does he have to do to improve on his season this year? He had a great year last year, but there were some quarterbacks who were right on his heels for that MVP. 16-0 is hard to replicate. What are they going to have to do this year for Matthew Stafford to be just as successful, if not more?
Well, I think they have to be able to have a better run game, and that'll open up things a lot more for Matthew Stafford. But had a rough start last year, but he turned it around and had a great year.
So the Lions kick off to the Falcons to start the game. Falcons take it out of the end zone to the 20, and that's where Matt Ryan and company will come out onto the field. So this Atlanta offense can be explosive, as we talked a little bit in pregame. Matt Ryan, Tevin Coleman, Julio Jones. You know, their offensive line has had some question marks in the past. They traded for Russell Bodine last year from Cincinnati, kind of shored up that offensive line. So as they come out onto the field in 11 personnel, they've got the 2 tight ends set with the one behind, and Matt Ryan's in the pistol. Lions come out in the base formation. Ryan takes a shot downfield to his tight end, out to the sideline. He's running down the field. I'm not sure that anybody's going to catch him. He's down to the 20, the 10. He's pushed out of bounds at the 10.
That penalty is, of course, going to be accepted by the defense.
And that one's going to come back on a penalty. That's upsetting, I think, for that Atlanta offense. The holding call brings them all the way back. You know, Lip, 1st and 19, they're on their own 9-yard. What are they going to have to do here to try to get back into good position?
Oh, that's a big blow to Atlanta. You don't want to be 1st and 19 against this defense, and you certainly don't want to have a big play like that taken away against a squad like this.
So the Falcons come out in the strong eye, Tevin Coleman in the backfield, Matt Ryan under center. Lions shift over to cover up the wide side of the field, and it is a toss outside to Coleman, but it looks like there's another flag. Can that be another holding call on Atlanta? Yes, it looks like it is John Asamoah, and the Atlanta Falcons are moving back at this point, Lip.
This is not a good start for the Falcons at all. 1st and 24. I said it 15 seconds ago, and this is not where you want to be against a really good defense. I don't know what they're going to do to take themselves out of this one.
You know, there's not too many plays in the playbook for 1st and 24. At this point, I'd like to see Atlanta get a little conservative, not try to force anything downfield against a really good Detroit Lion defense. You know, Matt Ryan's in the shotgun here. Coleman offset to the left. He's going to go ahead and run. Short game up to the 10-yard line. It's going to put him at about 2nd and 20. So, looking at this Detroit Lions defense last year, it was one of the top 5 defenses all year, first in many categories. We're seeing right now that other than holding them back, literally holding them, there's not much right now going on for this Atlanta offense. I thought this offense was going to come out and be a little more explosive, but so far all they've done is move the wrong direction. Motion to the left. Ryan takes the snap. It looks like a screen pass out wide, and that's broken up. So it's going to be 3rd and 20. This looks like it should probably be a draw here. Do you take a shot here, or do you play it safe?
No, I think 3rd and 20 on your 9. You have to stick to protecting the football. You run it here. You just punt the ball away and play defense.
So it looks like Detroit's going to play a little safe coverage here, back off the ball. Right now, Atlanta's probably only got something underneath. He's looking underneath across the field, and that is almost broken up at the 30-yard line, almost an interception by the Lions, and the Falcons are going to be forced to punt. Bad first drive for the Atlanta Falcons.
That is a scary play right there, because that could have given the Lions real good field position.
Yeah, I don't think that's how the Falcons wanted to start this game off. They go ahead and punt to the Lions. It looks like it's going to be returned from the 45-yard on the Lions side, and that's about where they'll get stopped. Matthew Stafford, the MVP winning quarterback from last field, will take the field this week, week 2 against the Falcons from the 48-yard line for his first drive. This Lions offense, very dynamic. 2 great wide receivers in Calvin Johnson, Golden Tate. They've got Amir Abdallah in the backfield, and then Eric Ebron at tight end. You know, what do you expect from this Lions offense today, Lip?
Well, I think they're going to attack this defense. I think that they're going to come out and try to be the better offense and say, hey, you're going to have to score on our good defense.
So the Lions start off with a handoff to Abdallah to the right side, not gaining much, about a yard to, or possibly it looks like no gain there for the Lions. So, you know, we talked about pre-game. The Lions are going to have to establish the run. It's good to see them take that shot, first down. But they're going to have to do better if they want the Falcons to actually respect that running game.
And that's going to be the key. Not a whole lot of success running the football in Detroit. They're going to have to get that going.
So out of bunch formation, Stafford throws a dangerous pass to Corey Fuller, almost picked off by the Atlanta Falcons. It looks like both these offenses are going to start off slow here. I'm not sure if this is nerves about being on NBL Live, a big broadcast for them this week, or if it's just 2 great competitors. But so far the offensives really have been pretty stagnant.
That is a big break for the Lions there. Now they have a shot here. Could have been a big play for Atlanta, but instead we've got 3rd down for Detroit.
Yeah, we've seen a pass thrown by each quarterback so far that probably could have been picked off. So quarterbacks are going to have to calm their nerves here as we go forward into the game. You got 3 wide receivers out to the left, Abdallah out to the right. Stafford looks to the left and finds Fuller down the sideline to the 30-yard line for a big first down. It looks like Stafford, he's targeted Fuller on both pass through plays. They're looking to get the 3rd wide receiver, Corey Fuller, involved. Probably setting up something to Calvin Johnson a little bit later, but it's nice to get the young guy Fuller involved early on.
Well, Fuller actually replaced Hakeem Nicks in the slot last year, and whenever that replacement was made, this offense really saw a lot of things open up for them, so they really like them some Fuller in the slot there.
Well, it looks like it, as Stafford, as I said, targets them the last 2 plays. They come out 3 wide receiver set, Calvin Johnson in the slot. Amir Abdallah behind, they look to change the play. Stafford looks, Stafford sets, throws down the field to tight end Eric Ebron, and he's going to get a big gain down to the 1-yard line. So big first drive here for the Detroit Lions, 1-yard line. You know, I'd like to see right here them power it in and make a statement, but with this passing attack, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a jump ball here to Calvin Johnson.
That would be exciting to see, but I think the Lions are going to line up in some kind of power formation and just try to shove their way into the end zone for a touchdown.
Something interesting to note, Atlanta has not had any real sort of pass rush up to this point. It's been pretty stagnant. So, you know, Atlanta's going to have to find a way to get to Matthew Stafford. If he's got all day to throw, he is going to pick this team apart. And
that's what he does. It's 70%
big
completion.
Play by the Atlanta Falcons, shooting the gap on fullback Jackie Battle. Looks like it's going to be a loss of 1 on the play. That is what we were just talking about with the Atlanta Falcons. They've got to find a way to get that pressure, get through the line, make Stafford uncomfortable, and shut down this running game, and that's a good start for him.
See, that's what I thought they'd come out in, and it looked like Atlanta stepped up to the plate and shut that down.
So the Lions come out in a single back set, twins to the left. That right side looks mighty open. And Stafford does see that, but it's a dropped ball. Oh, man, that one's going to hurt for the Lions. That's a big play, bringing up 3rd and goal from the 2-yard line. The Falcons' defense, if they could get a stop here, it would be huge for this game and for their confidence.
Well, yeah, that's a huge drop right there, especially if they have to settle for a field goal.
So big 3rd down coming up here, 2-yard line. You've got a bunch formation off to the right, Amir Abdallah behind. It's going to be a pitch out to Abdallah. Can he get the edge? No! Falcons push him back again. This time it's a 5-yard line. There does look to be an injury on the play. We'll get you some more information on that here in a second. But the Atlanta defense holds, forcing Detroit to kick the field goal. That was a big turn of events there, Lip. 3 points instead of 7 is huge.
That's the step that Atlanta needed to take in order to keep up with Detroit. They need to be able to play defense, and that difference in points could come up huge later down the road here.
So Detroit kicks off to Atlanta. Atlanta returns it back out to the 30-yard line. Camille Ishmael was hurt on the last play. It looks like it was just a bruised sternum on that big stop there in the last, so he'll be back. Not a huge blow for Atlanta, but you know, Atlanta, after giving up that big drive, their defense got to stop. The offense needs to come out, make a statement right here. I'd like to see Atlanta get the running game going, but you know, this is a tough Detroit Lions defense to run on.
It's a 2 tight end formation.
So Atlanta comes out in the pistol. You've got handoff to Tevin Coleman over the left side. He puts on a nice spin move. Gets up to roughly the 24-yard line for a short gain of 4 there. And it's going to set up a 2nd and 6, a nice manageable situation.
Yeah, that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to run the ball because they have great talent at the halfback position, and that's what they need to do to be able to protect the football and win this game.
So Detroit comes out with 7 in the box. Nice 4-3 base formation. There's a slide on the inside by the defensive tackle. He slides back. Atlanta's in the I formation, motion to the left. Hand off to Tevin Coleman in a big hole up the middle. Looks like it's going to be a nice gain there. 10 yards for Tevin Coleman. 3 rushes, 18 yards. This running game is appearing to work. I'd like to see Atlanta stick with that running game, trying to keep pushing the ball.
Yeah, they keep running like this. They can expect some other things to open up, and Tevin Coleman picking up where he left off last week, running great so far.
You know, I hope the Falcons don't get greedy here. It's easy after a good couple runs to try to take a deep shot. I would like to see them stick with the run a little bit longer before making any shots downfield. They got that bunch formation off to the left here, out of the strong eye. They've got that wide side open. Tevin Coleman in the backfield. Matt Ryan drops back, and he's pressured, and it's going to be an incompletion. But that could have been a sack there by the Detroit Lions.
And that's what this defense is good at. They're good at just holding you close downfield while the front guys get a lot of pressure and force you to throw the ball whenever you don't want to and possibly get some sacks.
So that's going to set up a 2nd and 10 for the Atlanta Falcons here on the 34-yard line. They come out in a shotgun. Tevin Coleman out to the left side of Matt Ryan. Ryan's going to go ahead and take the snap. He's looking downfield, sees a receiver, hits the open receiver, but it's a dropped ball at the 50-yard line. That is going to be a big drop, and Matt Ryan goes to 0-4 so far on the day. This offense is struggling through the air right now.
And that's twice so far today. We've seen 2 big drops, one in the end zone and one right there that would have given you a new set of downs. That's got to be tough for Matt Ryan.
Yeah, I got to think there's some nerves in play here because some of these drops are just uncharacteristic for both offenses. So you've got Tevin Coleman flexed out to the left and Matt Ryan in the shotgun bunch to the right-hand side. Looks like Ryan's changing the play right now, right here on the 34-yard line. Ryan drops back to throw. He sees a receiver. Oh, it's a dropped interception again. Ryan is 0-5 so far on the day. Ryan's off. His line's not giving him much help. This Atlanta Falcons offense is struggling, Lib.
Yeah, this is not the Matt Ryan that we saw last week, who completed 75% of his passes. You know, there's some drops, but there's not a whole lot down there for this offense right now.
So it's going to be a punt to Detroit, a good return there. The Detroit's going to take over the ball at their own 30-yard line. You know, they had a big drive last time out. The passing game kind of helped them there. They didn't lean much on the running game. I'm still a believer. Matthew Stafford is going to have to lean on Amir Abdallah today if he wants any long-term success against this Falcons defense.
And there again, we see Fuller in the slot coming up big.
Yeah, definitely. So Corey Fuller, he gets the catch. It's going to move him out to the 48-yard line. Big gain of 18 yards here for the Lions. So Atlanta, they're running that zone defense. Matthew Stafford is an expert on definitely on taking over that and picking apart those zone defenses.
With the give. That's a gain of 6.
Always good to have these types of runs. Yeah, it's not a first down, but it sends a message. It shows everybody that you can run it when you want to.
Run there for Detroit.
Opens up so many things for your offense.
What is Atlanta going to have to do here to slow this Lions offense down?
I think that they're going to have to come up and they're going to have to get pressure on Stafford. He completes a high percentage of his passes, and they have to figure out a way to slow him down.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. We talked about that a little bit, that Stafford, when he sits back there and picks people apart, it's trouble. That is the pressure, though, that we were just talking about, and the Falcons go ahead and force the Lions into a 3rd and 4th down. There was an open wide receiver streaking across the field that Stafford really looked to be eyeballing there out of the slot. So that's going to force a 3rd and 4th here for the Detroit Lions on Atlanta's 46-yard line.
That's big right there. That's what they need to do on this Falcons defense to get their offense the ball back.
Falcons set at the line, dime package.
So the Lions come out, single back set, 4 wide. Theo Riddick's in the backfield right here for 3rd and 4. Stafford's going to drop back, look, sees the slot receiver, big catch there. It looks like it's going to be Corey Fuller down to the 28-yard line for the Lions, and the Lions convert, and it's 1st and 10 for the Detroit Lions.
He keeps coming up big, and there's quick timing, or there's quick routes from Stafford. You can't really get pressure. You got to cover, and Corey Fuller coming up big.
The Lions come to the line.
So the Lions come out, bunched, 3 left to the right. Amir Abdallah in the shotgun, back to the right of Matthew Stafford, and Stafford's going to take the ball. It looks like a screen pass, but the Falcons, they sniffed that out back at the 35-yard line. It's probably better that they did drop that ball there.
That's why it's incomplete.
Yeah, that's a great play by the defense there. Big play to come up, stop the screen there.
So the defensive ends were alert there, and that's a big part of this screen game, is those defensive ends, as they're rushing upfield, when they feel that release, they've got to see that the halfback is sneaking out of the backfield. So big play by the Atlanta defense. There's 8 seconds left in the first quarter. Lions on the 28-yard line, marching downfield here. You've got Fuller and Tate to the left. It looks like Stafford's looking left, ends up looking back right, finds Calvin Johnson down to the 7-yard line, and it looks like Detroit's setting up here in the red zone again to score.
Yeah, that's something that this offense does. They pick you down the field with Corey Fuller. They run the ball every now and then they hit you with that Calvin Johnson play, and that's something that this offense has been doing all last season. They're doing it again here.
So it's going to be the start of the second quarter. Lions lead 3-0 on the 7-yard line, knocking on the door of scoring again here on the Atlanta Falcons. Lions are going to come out, 3 wide receiver sets, single back, Abdullah behind Stafford. Stafford under center. Stafford changes the play, takes the snap. It looks like there's a flag on the play as Abdullah is stopped short at the 7-yard line for no gain.
That's big. Come up and take that play away. That was a great play by the defense to stop that run.
So it's going to be an offsides on Vic Beasley. It's going to move the Lions into the 3-yard line. First and goal, Lions. 3 wide set. Once again, single back. Lions. Abdallah throw the little swing back screen to Ebron, and Ebron's going to run that in for a Lions touchdown. So the Lions now up 9-0, about to make it 10-0, converting this extra point here. So Falcons get down 10 early on in this game. What's the game plan right now? What's the thoughts got to be for the Falcons as they receive this kickoff?
Well, they're only down a touchdown and a field goal. They have to stick to their run game. They've run the ball well so far. They just can't force the ball downfield with their passing game and put themselves in a bigger hole.
So the Falcons are going to run it out of the end zone. They're going to end up getting down about the 25-yard line, and that's where Matt Ryan and crew will come back out on the field and try to put the Falcons on the board. You know, Detroit's dominated this game so far from the defensive side of the ball. While the offense has produced some good drives, the defense has basically shut this Falcons offense down. Matt Ryan has 0 completions up to this point. Atlanta's only got 18 yards of total offense. They've got to get something going here quick, or else this could become a blowout.
First down at the 26.
Motion from left to right as Ryan's in the shotgun. He hands the ball off to Tevin Coleman for a loss of 2 yards on the play as he tried to make his way outside. You know, with this running game even struggling at this point, Lip, where do we got to go?
I still think that you have to stay committed to the run, although I do think that you could look at Julio Jones at this point for a big play.
You mentioned that Julio Jones lined up twins to the left in the slot. He's breaking to the outside. Ryan finds him for his first completion of the game up to the 31-yard line. So Matt Ryan's 1 for 6, 7 yards, and that being his first completion to Julio Jones, setting up a 3rd and 5 for the Falcons here.
And that's not like Matt Ryan to be 5 incompletions so far. Look for some short stuff here to get the offense going.
So it's going to be trips to the left, single back to the right. Ryan fakes a handoff to Coleman, finds a little crosser, but he's going to come up short. He gets tackled at the 35-yard line, and it looks like it's going to be 4th and 1, and the Falcons are going to have to punt again to the Detroit Lions.
There's that pressure. Matt Ryan didn't have enough time to look downfield. He had to dump it off quick, and they weren't able to pick up the first down. That's what this Detroit Lions defense does.
So the Falcons go ahead and punt to the 10-yard line, where it's returned to the 20. Nice move there, taken to the 35-yard line where he's ran out of bounds, and that's where Matthew Stafford will take over. Detroit Lions leading 10-0 in the second quarter, 4:34 left on the clock. So Detroit here. Is this where we start seeing that running game a little bit? They've got a good lead here. They don't want to risk too much. Do they take a shot downfield, or do they run the ball?
I think that they'll run the ball here.
So it's a handoff to Abdallah, and they get shut down. The Atlanta Falcons defense is swarming. They're not ready to give up yet, especially when it comes to defending that run. It's going to set up a 2nd and 10 for the Detroit Lions here. Second quarter, 4 minutes, 22 seconds left on the clock. The Detroit Lions, they come out, 3 wide receiver set, Eric Ebron to the right, single back, Amir Abdallah behind him. Falcons showing a lot of guys up in the box there, not really respecting the deep threat of this Detroit Lions offense. Stafford drops back, looking out, throws a little check down pass to Abdallah. He fights his way out to the 40-yard line. Detroit Lions complete the pass, 3rd and 3 on the 41-yard line here.
That's a great play to pick up 7 yards in 2nd and 10. That sets you up for a much shorter 3rd down attempt here coming up.
Yeah. So Stafford saw the check down there. It was zone. He finds Abdallah sitting down in the hole in the zone, gets a big completion there, and this is a very manageable 3rd and 3. But with the issues they've been having in the running game today, they're probably going to have to throw to get this 3rd down, and that's always a risky situation in these short downing situations. So Stafford set up in the gun. Calvin Johnson in the slot there. He's pressed going down the field. They're throwing it deep to him. Double coverage, but he pulls it down to the 15-yard line, and a huge game for the Detroit Lions as they end up at the 16-yard line, 1st and 10.
That is a huge play, and that's where, you know, they had him covered, and Calvin Johnson just made a great play, a great throw by Stafford. That's the Calvin Johnson-like play that you don't know when it's coming, but you know it's coming, and you have to, you know, keep that in the back of your mind at all times.
The Lions like to move Calvin around the field. They like to set him up in the slot there. He's set up to the slot to the left again here. When you see him in the slot, it's always good to keep an eye on him. Stafford steps back, hands the draw off to Amir Abdallah for his best gain of the day. It looks like it's going to be a 2nd and 3, 7-yard run for Abdallah. That's the best run the Lions have had all day, and it's coming off showing pass and handing the ball off.
Yeah, I think the Falcons were a little worried that they were going to take another shot there towards the end zone. Didn't really come up for the run and put them in a great 2nd and 3rd.
So the Lions are 2nd and 3rd here inside the 10-yard line of Atlanta. Stafford takes the ball, looking to pass, he throws a touchdown there. It's that Golden Tate to the touchdown. That puts Detroit up 16-0 as they get ready to kick the field goal. And this one looks like it could turn into a rout, Liv.
Yeah, now it might be not full panic mode, but you have to get some kind of points up if you're Atlanta. Whether it's a special teams return or even a field goal, you've got to get something to show you guys that you're still fighting.
You know, remember these two teams, as we talked about at the beginning of the broadcast, were believed to be the 2 best teams in the NFC last year. The Lions had a perfect regular season going 17-0. Falcons, I believe, finished at 13-3. You know, the upset by the Cowboys, as we're looking at this in hindsight, and you can only think as a Detroit Lion fan, you're a little upset that your team's coming out and basically having their way with this Atlanta defense.
Yeah, this is not something that we expected, that Detroit would have a big lead with with just about 2 minutes left before half. Atlanta needs to come up big right here and make a statement.
So Atlanta comes back, sets up in the pistol, motion to the left. Ryan's going to take the handoff, or take the ball, hand off to Tevin Coleman to the left side for just 2 yards on the rush. You know, at this point, Atlanta has to start feeling the urgency as we get closer to 2-minute warning here in the first half. I would like to see a hurry-up offense here. Maybe Ryan in the shotgun, kind of some short passes, just getting the ball going, because they don't have the time right now to be relying on that run game as the clock ticks towards the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, they have to get into the end zone here before halftime. That might require them to take a couple shots to Julio Jones. But like you said, right now Matt Ryan's confidence might be kind of shaky with a lot of incompletions so far. So if they can hit some short stuff, get it going, and then look to Julio for a big play, it can put him right back in this game.
So questionable clock management there. They wasted about 20 minutes as they waited for the 2-minute warning to start. The Falcons come out 3 wide, motion Tevin Coleman out of the backfield, little swing pass outside. Coleman's going to take that one up to the 29-yard line, and that's going to set the Falcons up at 3rd and 1 on their own 29-yard line. 1:50 left in the game, and the urgency is just not there. I'd like to see these Falcons be moving, hurry up offense, and right now they're taking too much time off this clock.
That was a huge tackle. That could have been a big play for Atlanta.
Falcons come out, heavy set to the right. Tevin Coleman in the backfield of the I formation. It looks like it's going to be, nope, it's a play action. Ryan's looking downfield. He's got an open receiver. Julio Jones is going to take this one all the way into the house, and that's a big response by this Atlanta Falcons offense as it's now 6-17 as we wait for the extra point.
What a play. I mean, Detroit was really expecting something safer there to try to pick up the first down because they knew that they needed to keep the drive going, and Atlanta comes back with a big shot to Julio Jones to put them right back in this game. That was a great play by Atlanta.
So now it's Detroit's turn to respond. 17-7 Detroit, 1:27 left. Detroit still has 2 of their timeouts. Detroit's going to take that kickoff, stay in the end zone, and get the starting position at the 20-yard line. That's where Stafford's going to come out and try to lead this team down the field before half.
Yeah, the only bad thing about that big play was now did you give Matt Stafford too much time, because 1.5 minutes might not be a lot of time to some guys, but to Matt Stafford in this offense, that could be enough time to put up just a field goal.
Yeah, so Stafford comes out 3 wide, which has been their favorite set for the day. Abdallah in the backfield. It's going to be a fake handoff to Abdallah. pushing it down the field. Oh, and it's almost intercepted at the 40-yard line by the Atlanta Falcons. It falls harmlessly to the ground. He was targeting Calvin Johnson there. It was forced into triple coverage. Not a good throw by Stafford. Johnson still got his hands on it, but that one could have been bad.
That could have been a big game changer for Atlanta.
So Stafford's going to come out in the shotgun. Abdallah to his right, trips to the left in a bunch formation. Stafford's going to hand the ball off to Abdallah, runs into his own guy at the 20-yard line, and it looks like Detroit may just be settling here to go into halftime with the 10-point lead, but Atlanta's going to call the timeout, try to get that ball back, make it a little closer before halftime.
I think that near interception could have scared the Lions into just trying to run some clock off, but now you see Atlanta taking a timeout. They might be able to get the ball back and put up some more points before we go to half, which could be really big if they could just knock this down to just a 7-point deficit before we go into half.
That would be big for the Atlanta Falcons to get this game a little bit tighter before coming out of the halftime break. 3rd and 10. Detroit Lions on their own 20-yard line. 1:14 left in the first quarter. Up 10 here. Stafford's going to fake a handoff to Abdallah. Gets the crossing pattern down the field to Corey Fuller once again. And that's going to move the Detroit Lions up to the 34-yard line and give them a fresh set of downs.
Corey Fuller is playing big right now because that's a big first down for them that allows them to either get the ball down and maybe they can score, but maybe more importantly, it keeps the ball away from Atlanta.
66 yards.
So the Lions come out. 50 seconds left in the first half, 34-yard line, 3 wide receiver set. Stafford drops back, screen pass to Abdallah. Abdallah's going to take the ball upfield, hit some Falcons defenders at the 39-yard lines, and that's where he will be down.
That could have been a bigger play if there had been some better blocking, maybe a little bit of vision, but at least it wasn't a turnover and you picked up some yards. 2nd and 5, now you have a couple options.
So the Falcons here look like they're content to let the Detroit Lions run the clock out here as we tick down from 22 seconds here in the first half. Detroit Lions are going to come out. 4 wide receiver set to the left. Eric Ebron out to the right on the line. Pistol set. Amir Abdallah behind Stafford. Stafford drops back. He is looking deep down the field. He's throwing to the seam. And it's an interception there by the Atlanta Falcons, and that looks like we're going to get to go in the half, 17-7 with the Detroit Lions up.
That's a big play. Had they caught the ball and had enough time to put up some more points, that was a great play.
It was. So as we look into half here, and you may see one play here by the Falcons, what are the Falcons going to have to do to get back into this game as they come out of the locker room in the second half?
Well, I think they're going to have to get the ball going on offense, and I don't mean forcing it. I think that they have to hit the short stuff, the passing game, get Matt Ryan going. That's going to be big for them to get his confidence going so they can get back into this game.
So we've got a 17-7 game here in the third quarter as we kick off the ball. The Detroit Lions are going to get the ball. They take it out to the 24-yard line, and that's where this drive will start. Matthew Stafford was pretty good in the first half. Couple errant throws that were probably bad decisions, but they didn't cost him, as the interceptions weren't pulled in. He had the one deep one as time expired, but nothing too damaging. They're going to come out 4 wide receiver set, or 3 wide receiver, 1 tight end set, bunch close to the line. Abdallah in the backfield. Stafford drops back. He's throwing to the left-hand side of the field, and he's got Golden Tate out to the 40-yard line for a Detroit first down.
That's a big catch by Tate there. He saw the safety coming up on him, and he still stuck his hands out there and put his body on the line for the Lions to pick up a first down.
So the Lions got a first down on the 40-yard line, moving upfield with the 10-point lead. 5:39 left in the third quarter. 3 wide receiver set. Stafford in the shotgun, Abdallah to his right. Stafford looks to be changing the play at the line. Stafford snaps the ball, hands off to Abdallah. Abdallah cuts back but gets nowhere and tackled at the 40-yard line. Abdallah has 7 carries for 10 yards at this point. This running game is not going. It's not hurting the Lions at this point. However, to hold on to this lead long term, I think the Lions are going to have to start doing something in that running game.
Yeah, not a whole lot on the ground. I think that this is where you could see the think and dunk passing game of the Lions really come into play. They can't get a whole lot on the ground, so maybe some short catches, some runs after the catch could move the ball for them.
3 wide receiver set, Fuller out to the left, Tate in the slot to the right. Abdallah lined up next to Stafford in the gun. Stafford looks once again to be changing the play at the line after seeing the Falcons defense. He drops back for the pass, throwing to the right-hand side of the field. He's got Tate for another first down, and now they are into Falcons territory at the 48-yard line for a first down.
It's a great route, great timing, great throw by Stafford. That's the kind of offense that you can expect from the Lions. There's good decision making, and that's going to make up for where they're not being able to run the ball here so far.
The Lions look to be making a living on the outside in the hashes. That's something where the Falcons have been doing a lot of crossing routes, but not doing much outside the hashes. I'd like to see the Falcons try to emulate this offense a little bit when they get the chance to get that ball back. So the Lions come out, Stafford drops back to throw, throws again outside the numbers, finds Tate down to the 29-yard line for another Lions first down, and they are abusing the Falcons at this point outside the hash marks and exposing their cornerbacks.
Yeah, Tate stepping up big on this drive, just doing whatever he wants to the Atlanta secondary. If you're Atlanta at some point, having such a good defense in the past, you're going to have to step up at some point. Somebody's going to have to make a play so that you can continue to be that defense. So far today, we haven't really seen that.
So the Falcons brought pressure on the last play, but Stafford was relatively untouched. And you got to think at some point these Falcons are getting frustrated that they can't get to Stafford. Stafford lines up in the I formation. It's going to be a handoff to Abdallah. Abdallah cuts back. Nice run there. It's going to be about 9 yards for Abdallah. I'm not sure. It looks like he's going to be a yard short for the first down, but that's probably the best true run of the day we've seen from the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, that was a great run by him and sets them up in second and short here. This gives them a lot of things that they can do.
So, 2nd and 1, the Lions come out into the I formation again. Stafford looks to be changing the play at the line. A lot of Falcons in the box. They hand off to Abdallah, who falls forward after getting hit behind the line to the 18-yard line, and a Lions first down. The Detroit Lions have entered the red zone again for the 3rd time today, and it looks like Detroit's marching down the field with very little resistance from this Falcons defense. Falcons bringing the pressure, but still not able to get to Stafford or the running game at this point.
They've eaten up a lot of clock here on a good drive so far. Maybe they can put it in for a touchdown and put this game out of reach.
3 wide receiver set for Stafford. Looks like he's going to hand off to Abdallah, who's got a big hole up the middle, puts on a spin move as he goes down at the 10-yard line. That's going to put the Lions in a nice manageable 2nd and 2. 3 minutes left in the 3rd quarter from the 10-yard line. Detroit leads 17-7, looking to punch it in here and possibly make this game a little bit over at this point. There's not a ton of time left on the clock. It's not over yet, but this Falcons offense has not shown the ability to move the ball, and this defense looks to be getting tired as they've stayed out there a long time. Lions go ahead and hand the ball off to Abdallah again, who takes it down to the 6-yard line for another Lions first down.
Yeah, they've been able to run the ball here, and Atlanta doesn't really have a whole lot on defense that can stop much of anything on this drive. Detroit getting that run game going might be big for them here.
The Detroit's used up about 3 minutes and 30 seconds off the clock, 2 minutes 30 seconds left in this 3rd quarter. It's going to be a handoff to Abdallah, who's hit in the backfield and brought down at the 6-yard line for no gain. You know, Atlanta's defense has been sending 6 or 7 guys every time. I think it's roll or quick slant to take advantage of those one-on-one matchups and try to punch it in here.
Yeah, the defense was good. That first drive down here in the red zone, maybe they can come up with a big stop here and get the ball back for their offense.
2nd and goal, 6-yard line. Atlanta's looking for the big stop. Shows the double A gap blitz. They bring the blitz. Stafford looks. He finds Golden Tate in the left side of the end zone for a touchdown. And this has become an issue here for the Atlanta Falcons as they go down 24-7 here in the 3rd quarter. The Detroit Lions are rolling over a very good opponent right now.
Yeah, and this was Golden Tate's drive. He took over and ate up a whole lot of time in this quarter, and now it's pretty much panic time for the Falcons. They're going to have to get their passing game going, get down and get some quick scores so that they can get back in this game, but hopefully it's not too late for them.
Detroit burns 4:05 off the clock for that drive. The Falcons bring the ball out of the end zone to the 22-yard line, and that's where Matt Ryan's going to start to try to bring his team back down 7-24 here in the third quarter in Detroit. You know, Lip, how much does the home field advantage play here? You know, you've got a 24-7 lead. You've got a team you know that's going to have to pass the ball. Does that home field advantage just let these pass rushers get hyped and get to the quarterback at this point?
I think it does, and I think it makes it a little harder for the communication on the offensive side. Playing on the road is not an easy thing, and Detroit is coming off an excellent season. They're playing well so far this season, so their home crowd's really excited, and they're going to be loud and make it hard for Atlanta.
So Ryan completes a pass to his tight end for the first down. It moves him out to the 42-yard line. Atlanta's in the shotgun once again. Detroit backs up off the ball, telling Atlanta they can go underneath, but they're not letting anything get over top. Atlanta finds the pass to the left-hand side. It looks like it's completed there. Matt Ryan having a good drive so far. He's 6 of 11 for 122 and a touchdown at this point in the game. Matthews with the reception on that takes him inside Detroit's territory to the 45-yard line. I think they need to be in a hurry-up mode right here, Lip. There's not a ton of time left, and Detroit's been able to bring a lot of time off the clock in each of their drives. So Matt Ryan lines up in the pistol, steps back, he's looking downfield, throws the dump-off screen to the right for very little gain. And the Falcons are actually looking at a 2nd and 14 as that was a loss on the play.
These are the big plays that you see from Detroit. Haloti Ngata, a lot of time in the league. He recognized that right away and put the Falcons in a longer position.
So the Lions come out, show blitz, back off, and almost intercept that ball at the 45-yard line. Matt Ryan makes an ill-advised pass on the crosser to the tight end. It's going to bring up 3rd and 14 here for the Atlanta Falcons and Matt Ryan.
This is a bad position for the Falcons. They got to be careful they don't force something and turn the ball over.
Falcons come out, 2 tight end set, Coleman in the backfield. They motion Coleman out to the right. He's open, no one out there to the right with him. They get picked up. He's looking to the center of the field for Matt Ryan, and it's a completion across the center of the field, and that's going to take him down to the 29-yard line. Completion to Julio Jones. The Falcons are inside the 30-yard line of the Detroit Lions with 27 seconds left here in the third quarter, down 17 points and looking to try to get back into this game.
So that's a big play. You got a long way to go for the first down. You go to your playmaker, he steps up big.
So a 6 rush to 14 pass differential here for the Falcons right now, and running's pretty much out of the game at this point as much as they are down. Lions shift inside. Ryan drops back. Has good production, but just misses to the outside. Would have gotten him down to the 10-yard line. Receiver was free running a corner out of the slot, but just barely misses him.
See, and that's something that kind of limits this Falcons offense. They have a good run game, couldn't get it going today, and now that they are pressed for time and can't really use it, that puts a lot of pressure on Matt Ryan and the wide receivers of this offense.
Falcons come out once again in a 3 wide receiver set. Ryan in the shotgun, Coleman off to his left, Julio Jones to the right, only receiver out there, motion on the left-hand side, and that is going to be a catch. That's going to move the Falcons down to the 21-yard line as time expires here in the third quarter. It's going to set up 3rd and 2 for the fourth quarter when we start over. Falcons down 24-7 to the Detroit Lions here in Detroit. Last quarter, Falcons here are going to have to see some urgency. I would expect to see hurry up the rest of the game.
You would have to think so, because as we've seen, Detroit can eat up a whole lot of time. Not a lot left here for Atlanta.
So Atlanta's in the single back set, 2 wide receivers off to the left-hand side of Matt Ryan, 2 tight ends to the right, tight end on the line. Ryan's going to go ahead and hand it off to Coleman, who takes the ball upfield for a nice gain. It's going to move him down 11 yards on the run by Tevin Coleman. It's 1st and 10 at Detroit's 10-yard line for the Atlanta Falcons.
And that might be a good call, as the Lions might not have been expecting a run that would have kept the clock moving.
Falcons come out, pistol set, 2 backs, 2 wide receivers, Coleman behind Ryan. Ryan steps back to pass, looks downfield, gets the slant, and that's going to be just a short gain of 3 yards for the Falcons, and those underneath routes are going to be tough for them to do and still have time to make this comeback.
Yeah, and they choose not to go hurry up there, maybe with having 2 tight ends out there. They bring out a different set here. Let's see what they can do on offense.
They're coming out in a heavier set, pistol set, 2 backs, 1 tight end in the backfield with Ryan, 1 wide receiver out to the left. Ryan motions a halfback to the right-hand side. He's going to go ahead and he's going to hand it off to Coleman, who gets all the way down, and he fights his way into the end zone, and that's a touchdown. Atlanta Falcons score. They go up 14, or they're down 14-24 here in Detroit.
And that's a great call. Maybe not a lot of people expecting them to come out and run the football there in the situation there, but they cut the lead down to 10, and let's see what they can do here.
So Detroit's going to opt not to return this kick, let it bounce out of the back of the end zone. Detroit's coming out, 5:11 left on the clock. They had a nice drive last time. I don't expect Detroit to come out and just run the ball and hand it back to Atlanta and let them complete this comeback. So I'd like to see some short passing game to supplement the running game here by Detroit.
I think the Lions know that their opponent's good, really good. They don't want to just run the ball and hand the ball back to Atlanta's offense.
So Lions come out in a bunch formation. Strong eye. Stafford drops back, looks downfield, completes the pass to Golden Tate, and Golden Tate continues to kill this Atlanta offense defense as he takes it to the Detroit 46-yard line for a first down. These Lions are not slowing down. It looks like they're going to keep their foot on the gas pedal and keep trying to score. Only up 10 in the 4th quarter here.
I think that Atlanta came in and they have a very good defense, but I think that they may have put a lot of emphasis on Calvin Johnson, and they weren't really aware that Golden Tate and Corey Fuller are very 2 good wide receivers that can carry the load whenever you're going to protect a lot for Calvin.
They're trying to confuse the offense here.
The Lions come out. They are leading 10 points here in the 4th quarter, 4:30 left. They're going to hand the ball off to Amir Abdallah, who finds a little crease and takes it from the 46 to the 49 for a 3-yard gain. Sets up a 2nd and 7 for the Detroit Lions as the clock keeps ticking on Atlanta's ability to win this game.
And here we go with Detroit taking time off the clock. This is something they're good at, and they're going to keep the ball moving.
So they come out in a heavy set, 3 tight ends, 1 wide receiver to the left. Toss play to Amir Abdallah as he tries to find a way around the corner there. He may have made it to the 50-yard gain for just a single-yard gain. 3rd and 6 here for Detroit. 4 minutes left in the 4th quarter, and it looks like Atlanta's going to have to try to get a big stop here on 3rd and 6.
This is a very big moment in this game. If you can get the ball back here, this can give you a real shot at this game. But a lot of it's going to depend on what happens on this play coming up.
So big 3rd down here for Detroit and the reigning MVP Matthew Stafford. I'd look for Detroit to keep it in their MVP's hands. You got Tate over in the slot on the right-hand side, Fuller in tight on the left-hand side, nobody to the left. Riddick gets motion out to the left-hand side wide. Stafford drops back, looks for the pass down the field. And it's a short throw to Tate that goes to the turf, incomplete. And the Falcons defense holds here on 3rd and 6, forcing on 4th and 6 at the 50-yard line. And Detroit's going to be forced to punt here. Big stop by the Atlanta Falcons.
That was huge. They got the pressure in on Stafford and forced him to move around the pocket a little bit, forced a bad throw, and gives the ball back to their offense and gives them a real shot to put some points up and get back in this game.
Detroit ends up punting into the end zone. The Falcons will take over on their own 20-yard line. 3 minutes, 25 seconds left here in the 4th quarter. Falcons down 14-24 to the Detroit Lions. Matt Ryan's going to come out and try to lead this team to a victory, but it's going to be a tough one as this Detroit Lions defense has just been stingy this day. Ryan comes out. He's got a tight set to the right, 3 tight ends to the right, Tevin Coleman in the backfield. You got 1 wide receiver out to the left, Julio Jones. Ryan's changing the play, it looks like. They're swapping sides, and the 3 tight ends go out to the left. Jones goes to the right now at this point. Coleman's still in the backfield behind Ryan. He motions one of the tight ends back to the right-hand side. It's going to be a play action to Coleman. Ryan's looking downfield. Finds a tight end on the crosser, and it's going to take him down to the 36-yard line for an Atlanta first down.
I think Atlanta's doing a great job of keeping the Lions on their toes here. Starting with the last drive where they scored. Detroit's not really sure what's coming at certain points.
So it's crazy formation. You've got the running back out to the right, split out, 2 tight ends, 2 wide receiver. Ryan looking downfield to his tight end. Jump ball tipped into the air. The Lions can't get to it. It's going to fall harmlessly to the ground. A lot of time coming off the clock there as it's 2nd and 10 with the Falcons still trailing by 10 here in Detroit.
very dangerous. It looked really open with that ball going up in the air. That almost gave Eric Weddle a shot to run back there and grab that and lock this game up for Detroit. Matt Ryan gets away with one there, even though it didn't look that bad. It could have been bad.
Falcons come out, bunch set to the left, Coleman to the right, Ryan in the shotgun. Julio Jones set up off to the right by himself. Lions in a bit of a quarter defense here, allowing the underneath pass but not giving up anything deep. Ryan takes the snap, looking to the left. It's going to be a screen to Coleman. Sniffed out immediately for no gain, and here we get to see finally the Falcons showing some urgency as it's 3rd and 12. They go into the hurry up with 2:46 left in the game. They change the formation. Coleman off to the left of Ryan here in the shotgun. Ryan takes the handoff, fakes, looks down the center of the field, gets the completion. It looks like that was to Matthews for a first down. They've entered Detroit territory, 47-yard line, 2:30 left in the game. And the Falcons, instead of staying with the hurry up, inexplicably go back into a huddle. Falcons come out, 3 wide receivers set, running back and 2 running backs in the backfield, flanking each side of Ryan. Ryan's looking downfield. Ryan finds a short underneath pass at the first down marker and takes it down to the 34-yard line. As 2 minutes left in the game, they're going to hurry up, try to get one more play in here before the 2-minute warning strikes. Same formation. Ryan's going to go ahead and snap the ball here in this formation. Quick handoff to Coleman. He's going to take it upfield to the 34-yard line, or 29-yard line, and that's where our 2-minute warning will sound.
That decision there to run the ball quick, they didn't waste any time. They didn't leave any time on the clock before the 2-minute warning, and it picked up 5 yards and gave them a short 2nd and 5 that can put them in a better position to pick up first down and keep the drive moving.
So the Falcons, 2nd and 5, 2 minutes left in the game, down 10 in Detroit on the 29-yard line. Matt Ryan comes out, Coleman to his left, tight end in line. You've got 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Looks like Julio Jones in the slot, looking downfield on a crosser, not seeing it, comes back to his tight end for a reception, but that's not going to be good enough for first down, 3rd and 1 on the 25-yard line. The Falcons are running at a slow pace here. They need to pick it up if they want to make this comeback happen. Matt Ryan comes out, 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left, tight end out, flanked out right instead of a wide receiver. Matt Ryan drops back, looking downfield. And that pass is badly thrown, almost intercepted, but it falls to the ground, and they get to live another day, 4th and 1.
Yeah, that was a big play. Could have been picked off by Detroit and sealed this game up. Instead, they get a shot here, 4th and 1.
So the Falcons are going to go ahead and kick the field goal, make it a 7-point game. They've got a lot of faith here, and it makes sense as they were going to have to either get a field goal or a touchdown at some point. So to take the points was probably the smart play. Falcons trail the Lions 24-17 here in Detroit. Minute 30 left in the game. Atlanta has all their timeouts left. The kickoff is going to go out of bounds, and the Lions are going to take over at the 20-yard line.
And that puts a lot of pressure on this defense that hasn't really been there a lot today. It's going to be on Matt Stafford here to pick up a first down and win this game for his team.
The Lions spread the field. Abdallah flanked to the right in the shotgun of Stafford. They run the ball for no gain, and the Falcons are going to go ahead and call their first timeout here. Minute 28 left, 2nd and 10 for the Lions.
That was a great call by the Falcons to put themselves in this position, and so far it's looking pretty good.
You know, I like the call by the Lions there to try to spread the field and run the ball, but I hope the Lions don't get complacent here. They need to get a first down, or they're going to give the Falcons a chance to tie this game up as time expires. It's 2nd and 10 from the 20-yard line. 3 wide receiver set. Stafford takes the ball, steps back, and he is sacked at the 10-yard line, and that's a big sack by the Falcons as they call their 2nd timeout.
That is a huge sack to put this offense in 3rd and 20. That is going to give them a lot better chance at getting the ball back for their offense. This just became a lot more exciting with just 1 sack for this Atlanta defense.
So it's going to be 3rd and 20 when the Lions come out of their huddle here on the 10-yard line. Lions lead 24-17. It's going to be a 3 wide receiver set, 1 tight end. Motion to the left-hand side. It's going to be a pass out to Theo Riddick, who's tackled short at the 13-yard line. Timeout, and Atlanta's going to get the ball back with about 1:10 left in this game. Matt Ryan with a chance to tie it.
This is going to give them an opportunity, and they have a lot of playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. Their defense did their job. They stepped up big, and here we go. It's about to get real exciting.
So the Falcons are going to field the punt at the 30, take it up to about the 40-yard line, 41, and that's where Matt Ryan comes on the field with the chance to win this game. 1 minute, 10 seconds left. Set up for the tie, I should say. Down 7 here in Detroit. This is where things are turned into lore, where people will go from myth to just magical. And so Matt Ryan's in the shotgun, nobody else in the backfield. Motion Monty ball out to the left-hand side. Ryan steps back, looks for the crosser in the middle of the field. It's going to be just short of a first down, 49-yard line, minute 4 left, 2nd and 2. Ryan hurries up to the line, same formation, ball split out to the left. Matt Ryan in the shotgun by himself, steps back, looking to the left hand in the slot, and he's got his receiver down to the 30-yard line. Falcons are moving down the field, 49 seconds left in this game. Falcons trail down by 7, 17-24. Ryan's changing the play at the line. Ryan steps back in the shotgun. He's looking. He's got his receiver underneath, down to the 23-yard line. 34 seconds left, and they're going to go ahead and huddle here with short time as it ticks down, 2nd and 3rd on the 23-yard line.
Those were some big plays, big throws by Matt Ryan, stepping up and being the quarterback we think he is.
So, bunch formation to the right, shotgun, Coleman to Matt Ryan's left, Matthews out to the left, Ryan drops back out of the shotgun, looking downfield, makes the completion, Julio Jones down to the 7-yard line, 18 seconds left on the 8-yard line. The Falcons have to hurry up, get to the line, either spike or run a play here. 13 seconds left as the clock continues to tick. Looks like the Falcons going to go ahead and spike the ball here. 9 seconds left in the 4th quarter of this game. Falcons are on the 8-yard line looking to tie this game up.
Big plays here. This is where you're going to have to look to Julio Jones to make a big play. Maybe you can get 2 plays off here. You got 2 shots. Let's see what happens.
Matt Ryan in the shotgun by himself. 4 wide, 1 tight end. Everybody spread out on the line. Matt Ryan takes the ball, drops back, looking to the end zone, finds a receiver, but he throws the interception. Lions are going to go ahead and run around in the end zone, tear the timeout there to Slay with the game-winning interception here, as it looks like the Lions are going to hold on 24-17 here for a big NFC victory.
Hey, like we talked about at the beginning of this game, this defense is good. They're going to come up in the times that they need to, and right there they step up big and lock this game up for the Detroit Lions.
It's like they're just going to go ahead and kneel on the ball here as they're going to take the victory, and a tight comeback win by Atlanta. Atlanta got down big early in this game, but a lot of props to that team as they fought back with a chance to win there. But Matt Ryan's got to be disappointed in that last throw.
Yeah, that's a big play, big turnover, and cost them the game.
So, final score here from Detroit. It looks like it's going to be the Lions 24, Falcons 17. Detroit moves to 2-0. The Falcons move to 1-1. They're going to now be 2nd in their division behind the Panthers, who are currently 2-0. The Lions are going to move to 2-0, tied with the Minnesota Vikings here. Looks like this is all we've got here from NBL Live. We thank everybody for tuning in for this exciting game and an exciting presentation of NBL Live. For all of those for NBL Live, I'm Sonny Weaver alongside my man Lip Ripper, and we look forward to calling the next game here on NBL Live. So looking at the post-game scores, we've got Tevin Coleman is your leading rusher here for the Atlanta Falcons, and the game at 47 yards. Not much of a running game going on in this game at all. The Falcons and Lions, they tended to air it out. Total offense for the Lions was about 292 yards, led by Matthew Stafford with a rating of 130.2, 270 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, compared to Matt Ryan's 1 TD, 1 interception for 248 yards, 65% completing for Ryan. This game was won by Stafford through the air. Ryan ended up being a detriment when it came down to it at the end.
Yeah, that was a great showing by Matt Stafford, and we all saw why he's the MVP from last season. A lot of big throws, a lot of big plays by Golden Tate and Corey Fuller to step up and show that this offense is very good.
Our player of the game does go to Matthew Stafford for his 3 TD performance today. The player of the game is brought to you by thebrokenrobots.com. Check out thebrokenrobots.com for all your fashion, news, and media entertainment sources. So, Matthew Stafford, player of the game, what do you think, Lip? Looks like we lost Lip. Matthew Stafford, player of the game here. So post-game wrap-ups brought to you by Daddy Leagues. Daddy Leagues for all your information on CFM and Madden Live. Thank you for tuning in for our post-game wrap-up.